Hi, my name is Annabelle Jensen, and these are my partners.
Daniel Olszewski.
Katie Buckner.
Jenny too.
For this presentation, we will be discussing that documentary we had the opportunity to watch called Rivers and Tides Working with Time. We will also be discussing the themes of Taoism, a traditional Chinese philosophy, and how the documentary ties to these themes. Let's first discuss what Rivers and Tides is all about. Rivers and Tides is a film that follows a world-renowned artist named Andy Goldsworthy. He is known for his still photographs and sculptures that are created amongst nature. Goldsworthy manipulates elements of nature through time to capture such images. In this documentary, Goldsworthy travels to 4 different countries creating pieces of art. A little more background information on Andy Goldsworthy and how he got started as an artist. Goldsworthy was born in Cheshire, United Kingdom, and grew up farming in rural England. Goldsworthy moved on to study art at the Bradford College of Art and also Preston Polytechnics, after he produced works such as shown in Rivers and Tides all over the world.
After deliberation and discussion about Taoist thought in this class, we were able to recognize that Andy Goldsworthy's artistic vision in Rivers and Tides, which shows ties to Taoism through the simplistic elements of nature.
Taoism is one of the main traditional Chinese philosophy. This symbol you see on the slide is the Chinese character for Tao. Tao meaning the way or the path, which is a reality beyond human perception and is strongly associated with the natural world. Taoists believe that the way begins with an understanding of the origin of the universe. Taoism believes that everything has its complementary opposite and that all things are interdependent. So this is where the concept of yin and yang comes in. Bright is bright in relation to dark, death is death in relation to life, etc. Everything can only be understood by comparing it to its opposite. Lao Tzu, a Taoism philosopher, composed Tao Te Ching, a fundamental text of Taoism. A quote from the Tao Te Ching is, "Knowing the ancient beginning is the essence of the way." Taoists believe that what happens in nature is effortless, and by observing the processes of nature, we can come to some understanding about the meaning of our lives and our place in the world.
In an interview, Goldsworthy says, "Nature for me is raw and dangerous and difficult and beautiful and unnerving." This quote draws parallels to a Taoist thought commonly used to remind us to follow the way. The recurring thought reminds us to be like a river. Similar to a river, we are called to be fluid and flow in the path of least resistance. While water itself is one of the softest of all substances found in the world, it can cause drastic change and in some cases damage with a simple force. Goldsworthy says, "There is life in a stone. Any stone that sits in a field or lies on a beach takes on the memory of that place. You can feel that stones have witnessed so many things." The film Rivers and Tides shows a number of stone structures creating images that are awestruck and noteworthy. These simple pieces attract attention because they incorporate a balance of strength and grace. One who lives by Taoist thought may be seen as strong or stubborn for defying their personal desires, yet the life of a Taoist follower is simple and gentle.
The bird's nest is a perfect example of the Taoist thought of opposites. It was not Andy Goldsworthy's intention to evoke a bird's nest, but rather to realize around the hole in the roots of a knotty tree the concentric shape it seemed to ask for. The combination of the network of twigs and roots dancing together around to form an absence of space elicits a bird's nest. A cacophony of occupied space plays with the melodious negative space. The shape just is. But when the two play together, we can understand and enact our craving for it to be the bird's nest. Our interaction with nature is what gives it meaning. In the eyes of Andy Goldsworthy, we are nature, and when we often forget the realities of nature, we forget a piece of ourselves. According to Leah Ullman, LA Times writer, all of it incorporates some aspect of change, while the notion of sculpture as ongoing is more immediately evident in Goldsworthy's outdoor work using ice, leaves, flowers, wood, and stone. These pieces have change and motion at their essence as well. Not only does he work with nature, but he works in nature. His respect for nature is reflected in his work. The importance of his work is that he connects to nature while creating. He understands a little bit more about what happens in nature as he does this.
There is something distinctive about Andy Goldsworthy's art that relates to Taoism as well. The simplicity of his work that relates to Taoism is how simply he builds his sculptures. Andy Goldsworthy discusses how he uses no tools except the natural elements themselves to keep the structure together. Goldsworthy states in Rivers and Tides, "My art is an attempt to reach beyond the surface appearance. I want to see growth in wood, time and stone, nature and city." By creating his art with just his elements, Goldsworthy shows the understanding of its origins of the universe and beyond its surface.
虚己守静笃，万物并作，无以观复。夫物芸芸，各复归其根，归根曰静，是谓复明。If you empty your mind, your heart will embrace the tranquility of peace. Watch the workings of creation, but contemplate their return to the source. All things in the universe return to where they began. Returning to the source is tranquility because we submit to heaven's mandate.
Goldsworthy is a renowned sculptor and photographer. He creates art out of nature and emphasizes the importance of connecting to nature as we build our understanding of it. We are a part of nature and must understand it. His art reflects a minimalist perspective. He builds sculptures out of nature, such as bird's nests in the rock sculpture. He plays with his art to enact a deeper understanding of nature. This connects with Taoism as we observe in nature is effortless, as should our relationship with nature be. Rivers and Tide connects Andy Goldsworthy's work to the Taoist perspective, and by following Goldsworthy ideas in Rivers and Tides, we come to a deeper understanding of nature. Thank you for listening to our presentation.